Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 214. Thank you for joining us, as always, on this scorching Thursday evening, Earth date July 15th, 2021. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me, as always, my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon.
Slam now.
Brandon? Oh.
Yeah.
I think you started singing, but it cut out, or it didn't start picking up. So maybe you should sing it again.
No, I think I've sung once already.
Okay, fair enough. And also with us today, we have Bucky.
Hello.
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 Hi.
Hello. That's dumb. You're dumb. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I wasn't sure if you were still recording or not.
Yeah, no, I'm still recording.
Oh, okay. So that conversation about your throttled penis is gonna stay in?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, have fun editing that, asshole.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
That's good. Bucky, you said you were out of AC at the moment?
Yeah, our AC went out yesterday.
That's a
and
bummer.
It is very warm in my home right now.
Did you have central air, or was it window units, or what?
We have central air, and that's what went out. Luckily, I have a window AC in my bedroom, so I'll still be able to sleep.
That's good.
We're so high energy tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. We need to pick it up.
Hey, I'm fucking high as a kite right now.
And I'm gonna be high.
I was
As a
gonna
kite
record
by
a
then.
podcast, and then I got high.
And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. That was my Captain Kirk.
William Shatner.
My William Shatner.
That was good, man.
Hey, thanks.
I knew exactly what you were doing.
You liar.
So what have you been up to?
Did.
Who?
You, Remington.
I just bought a couple of things off a Humble Bundle.
Oh, yeah? What'd you get?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I closed down the links for it already, but...
Oh, you.
I got the Music and Sound Effects Volume 2 for games, films, and content creators. And then I got the Game Dev Arts Mega Pack that has just all kinds of like little icons and backgrounds and bits and bobs, and I'm pretty excited about that. I've been collecting this stuff, like the sounds and these extra packs, just because at some point I know that I might use them in a project for somebody somewhere. So I just kind of collect them.
You've been trying
Do
to
you
use
have a
some
lot
in the
now?
D&D games.
Do what, Bucky?
I know you've been trying to use some sounds in the D&D games for
Yeah,
immersion.
Now primarily I use Syrinscape for that, because I mean Syrinscape is a really well thought out and well put together program, and they're just continuously releasing stuff for it, and I really enjoy supporting that. I actually had Syrinscape when the dude first released it. I think he's from New Zealand, if I remember correctly, and I used it for we did a Halloween. I don't think it was a one-off. I think I just kind of wrote it into the story. Didn't I, Brandon?
What?
We played it over at Ginger's. It was a Halloween episode. It was during the Halloween season.
I thought you were talking about the Halloween podcast that we've done. Yeah, we did a one-shot at Ginger's, a Halloween one.
Yeah, and I had like smoke effects and different lighting, and we hung up like spooky forest backdrops along the wall.
Yeah, that was an awesome session.
Yeah, thanks.
You had those fake braziers.
Yeah, the little brazier sconces that had like the cloth that was lit like fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really fun session. I wish I could have actually recorded that one because that one was the ambience was really cool, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun time. I'm glad that we've got to the point now where we're recording our sessions because it's going to be fun to go back and listen to years down the road. Just
Yeah,
like with
for
all the
sure.
sessions that you have that we've recorded.
Yeah, for sure. Although I don't know how many of them I actually still have because I think some of them were on a hard drive that went bad.
Oh, okay. I mean, I have some on a hard drive somewhere, I think, but not very many.
Yeah, I know I have
The
some
audio
still, but I
on
don't
them
know
is
how many.
terrible anyway.
Oh yeah, super bad. Not like
Isn't
the
technology just great?
not like the professional setup we have going on now. No, Bucky, I suspended a blue snowball microphone over top of the table and put it into omnidirectional setting, so it would just pick up everything in the room.
That's cool.
Which was all right. I mean, it did the job, just not well.
Yeah.
The problem was people would talk. Like, you would have the DM telling some players what was happening, and then the other players would be bullshitting, and it would pick up everybody equally.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of them that we couldn't release because things were said that would not fly now.
Yeah.
Fair.
We were some goofy 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Saying a lot of slurs, were you?
No, we were just
Dumb.
I guess.
Yeah. There was a lot of things that were said that are just not PC.
Yeah.
Not PC.
We've grown a lot, I think.
Yeah. And that's why nobody will ever hear them because I'm sure as fuck not going to take the time to edit them.
Oh God, that would be miserable. Plus, we would play for like 4, 5, 6 hours at a time.
Yeah, God.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So have you been, Brandon?
I've been okay, man. Kind of on a downswing as far as my bipolar goes. So I've been kind of just like blah.
Yeah.
But okay, otherwise, just working at Jurassic Park. Been playing. I was playing a lot of Minecraft on Resident Stoner John's server with his brother, but the server's down for some reason, so I haven't been able to play the last few days.
What a mook.
I know.
I blame John specifically.
I'm going to get back into Final Fantasy 14, I think. It's been probably like a week or two since I've touched it.
Oh, yeah?
And it's been a week or two since I've played Final Fantasy.
See what you did there. Yeah.
I got jokes.
Yeah.
This isn't a story that I brought with me, but just speaking of Final Fantasy, they sold out of digital codes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Final Fantasy 14 sold out of digital codes.
How do you sell out of something digital?
It's sold out digitally in the US.
Yeah, how do you sell out of digital codes?
There's a waiting list for it. I'm reading right now. That doesn't say. The article doesn't say. Way to be useless.
Yep. Way to be useless, writers and article crafters.
My guess is that whenever I get online to play, my wait is usually between like 25 seconds to like a couple minutes before I can log in because the worlds are always full. So my totally uneducated guess is that they only have so much server space.
That's a fair educated guess, I would say.
That they figured out we can sell this many digital copies and still run our servers properly, but any more than that, and people just aren't going to be able to get into the game and play.
I mean, you would think that they would take the revenue that they'd be making by releasing more keys to just open up some more servers and buy some more servers.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Because if a server could, say, handle, 10,000 people, just as a random shot in the dark guess on how many it could handle, then adding servers would be...
There's 5 main worlds that you can pick from. Kind of like, was WoW like that? Where you would pick your main server world?
Well, they had a lot of servers. Now they're cross-servers, so they took a lot of them down because now it dynamically fills servers as people log in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they ended up not needing as many servers because there were some that were highly populated and there were some that were only a few hundred people on. and that made the world feel very empty. So
One of the big things I like about Final Fantasy XIV, and I know I've talked about it a couple times on the podcast, the past few ones, is the world seems alive. Everywhere you go, there's people. When you go out into the wilderness where there's quests, you don't run into people as much. Like you might see a person here or there, but you go into towns and there's like not an overwhelming amount of people unless you're in the hub cities, but it's just enough people to be like, oh, there's people living in this world, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's how I've been doing. How about you, Bucky? How have you been?
Doing okay up until yesterday when I was sick as a dog.
Yeah, what happened with that? I saw you said you got sick.
Oh, it was horrific. I was puking and everything from like 6 a.m. to 2 yesterday.
What was it? Any idea?
I think it was just a stomach bug because I feel fine now.
You got it all out?
I hope so.
You pooped it all out?
I hope so.
I'm rocking a sinus infection still.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I've basically just been working, hang out with my girlfriend, all that.
Ew, girlfriends.
Yeah, I have cooties now.
Gross.
Other than that, just been wanting to play D&D.
Yeah, hopefully we can play this Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We're trying for Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah, I should be able to play.
Why are we not doing it Sunday again?
Because I'll probably work Sunday.
Oh.
I told
you need to
Brandon, I told you what you need to tell
Oh
Jurassic
my God,
Park.
you guys.
Brandon, listen. You need to tell you need to tell Chris Pratt that Sundays are a religious holiday.
That's what I said.
I don't want to lie to my work and tell them it's a religious holiday for me.
It's Chris Pratt. It'll be fine. He'll respect you for it.
He'll be like, "Oi, Brandon, I understand."
That is not what Chris Pratt sounds like.
It's me, Chris Pratt.
Are you trying on new voices for a role, everybody?
Yeah, I'm working on stuff. That's my Chris Pratt.
He's becoming the next Chris Pratt at Jurassic World.
That's ridiculous.
They're grooming Brandon to be the next Chris Pratt.
They're actually grooming me to be the next Indominus.
Oh, okay. That's going to be interesting.
I'm just glad that somebody's finally grooming you.
Solid joke, Remington.
At least he smells better.
Thank you.
I just smell like
that
lizards.
Was stupid. All right, assholes. What do we have going on this week? We're gonna blow through this. We're gonna make this shit happen. We're still trying to ride that crazy train of like trying to get back into this weekly schedule. So I'm pretty excited.
I have a quick bullshit story that probably not take up too much time.
Okay, go for it.
Antonio Banderas joins Indiana Jones 5.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that it was worth talking about, so I didn't grab it. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
Well, it looks like that in the next installment of Indiana Jones, Antonio Banderas is going to be in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Sweet.
I had like 5 minutes to look for stories. Facebook wasn't helping me out at all.
I was going to say, you think it would have been longer, but
yeah.
This time we were waiting on Brandon, and now I get to not ever let him live it down.
I was 10 minutes late into the chat.
10 minutes! Bucky and I were here at 6:15.
I told Bucky 6:30, so I just assumed that he wouldn't be there till 6:30.
Hey, 15 minutes early is on time, and on time is unacceptable.
God, you guys are both just berating me right now.
Does it say what Antonio Banderas is playing or anything?
No.
Did you not? I was gonna say, did you even read the story, Bucky?
Yeah,
I mean,
I did. It's like a 3-paragraph story.
How did they get 3 paragraphs out of Antonio Banderas is gonna be in the fucking new Indiana Jones movie?
Antonio Banderas will be joining Harrison Ford, who returns as the titular protagonist, along with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Mads Mikkelsen, Boyd Holbrook, other people that I don't know who they are. And then it's just, they're going to be shooting at this place. And then this is the first Indiana Jones movie under Disney. It's going to release in July of next year. The director is James Mangold. Article over. They kind of went into a little bit more detail, but not much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did you guys see Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? I think we've talked about this before, but I can't.
You mean the
remember.
fan film?
Yeah. Did you see that?
Long
Yes,
time
I
ago.
did.
Did he have a love interest in it?
Yeah, it was the chick from the first movie.
Oh, okay. So it was an age-appropriate love interest for him?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
he had his son, Shia LaBeouf. Actual cannibal Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf.
God, that was such a good song play thing.
Still occasionally go back and listen to that.
Yeah, for sure. What is that actress's name?
Beef Bradley.
No, pretty sure that was not it. That was 2008 when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out. Karen Allen. Karen Allen, who played Marion.
Yes.
Man, she still looked wonderful in that movie. She's gorgeous. She is a gorgeous girl. She's a wonderfully beautiful lady. Maybe not that picture right there, but...
So the article didn't say if she was coming back also, Bucky?
No, not in this. I was surprised when I saw Mads Mikkelsen. I hadn't heard anything about that.
Mads is really bringing in some blockbuster titles.
Yeah.
He's kind of coming back up the food chain.
He was in Rogue One, then
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange, and then other things that I haven't seen.
I remember reading somewhere that he was...
Wasn't he in Hannibal or something like that?
I don't remember. I don't remember what the movie was, but it was somebody else who was supposed to be in it, and they couldn't for whatever reason. It was one of those looper things that I saw on Snapchat, where they were like, this actor couldn't play this role because this happened, so somebody else picked it up, you know?
Yeah.
And Mads came in and picked up whatever role that was, and that really kind of started snowballing him.
Yeah.
It seemed like into more and more roles. Which is interesting because I always enjoyed Mads not just because he has a really cool name, but because he's featured in a lot of B-rate movies that I have enjoyed over the years. And now it's interesting to me to see him appearing more and more in bigger blockbuster titles.
Yeah. The only things I've really seen him in are, like I said, Star Wars in Rogue One and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who he was until I saw Rogue One.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He apparently used to be a gymnast and a dancer.
Ah, that's cool. I didn't know that either. Speaking of actors that people might not have heard of, but are kind of pulling their way up back into the world of acting, or more higher profile things. God of War actor Christopher Judge will be voicing Black Panther in Marvel's Avengers.
Marvel's Avengers. Oh, yeah, game?
Yes. The new character will be added as a part of the War for Wakanda DLC that's set to arrive in August. For those of you who don't know, Christopher Judge is best known for his voiceover work in Kratos, or as Kratos in God of War.
Yeah, the most recent
but
one.
I know him from the Stargate television show. He played an alien called Teal'c in the Stargate series. And I always very much enjoyed him. He was kind of like the Vulcan of that of that space series, you know, just very serious and not a lot of emotion shown. And
yeah, I knew he was in. I knew he was in one of those shows. It was like I was thinking either that or Battlestar Galactica. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. I haven't seen either of them, but I knew he was in that.
Yeah, both of those, of course. The new version of Battlestar released around the same time that they were doing the Stargate series.
Cool. I haven't played the new God of War either, so
I've heard that it was really good. I haven't played it either. I'm not much of a system person.
Yeah.
I don't play PlayStation or Xbox anymore, but I enjoyed the first God of War. I can't remember. I think I was playing it at somebody's house or something. Or did they release it for Xbox?
No, it was a Sony exclusive.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Unless you're playing Devil May Cry, which was on Xbox.
No, it was definitely God of War. I think I was playing it. It might have been Mike who had it, and I played it when he had it.
Yeah, God of War is a fun series. I've played through
Yeah.
3 on my PlayStation 3. I haven't played the new one yet. I do have a PS4, but the disc drive doesn't work, so I have to buy digital. And God of War never goes on sale digital. I want to get it like $20.
Yeah. You're just going to have to wait, Brandon.
I know. Well, you can buy it physical for $20 because it's in their like collection, whatever the collection is called. I'm doing air quotes in with my hands for people who can't see this. Their collection.
Right. According to an EW report, Judge was initially hesitant to take on the role, saying he turned it down straight away when it was first offered because of the legacy of Chadwick Boseman, who earned acclaim for playing the character through 4 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Boseman died in 2020, 4 years after being diagnosed with colon cancer. Judge eventually relented, however. My mother and my children said if I don't do it, they would disown me. To be quite honest, I was fearful of being compared to what Chadwick had so wonderfully done, Judge said. The only way I could really wrap my head around it was to not even attempt a voice match. Or to let my performance stand on its own. I put all that into it, and hopefully people like it.
Nice. Yeah, I got the Marvel's Avenger game when it came out. I actually spent a couple $100 on the collector's edition because I'm that kind of Marvel nerd. And then I played it for 3 hours.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Were you that disappointed with the game?
I mean, when I first started playing it, it was just buggy as all hell. Like one mission I did, it just kept breaking. I got to the one point in a mission as Iron Man, and then I died. So I restarted earlier, but then when I got to the point when it was again, a certain like loading bar that was supposed to come up didn't. So what I was doing, I was just doing in vain, and nothing I did would then fix it. So I just got frustrated and said, screw it, and haven't tried playing it since.
I've heard that they fixed a lot of stuff with it, though. Maybe you should try to go back and give it a shot again.
I might.
You should, Bucky. You should.
I might.
You gotta get more than, $150 an hour worth out of it.
I mean, I got a Captain America statue that's pretty cool.
What do you think of the Guardians of the Galaxy game they announced? Are you interested in that at all, Bucky?
To be honest, I think I saw the trailer when it came out. I kind of half watched it, but I haven't really looked into it at all.
No, I figured you'd be all up on that since you're a Marvel fan.
Yeah. I just really haven't looked into it too much. I still haven't even seen Black Widow yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right?
You just not interested?
I mean, I want to go see it, but I've heard some things about it, and then I've heard that they've done a couple of things to characters that are not in line with the comics whatsoever. Like, I know they aren't going to be exactly with the comics and like the characters. There's going to be differences, but to a point to where it's not even the only thing the character has in common with the comic book character is the way they look. So,
I mean, fuck it. They rewrite Marvel characters all the time, or comic book characters in general.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go see it eventually. I just haven't had the chance to yet.
Fuck it.
Yep.
Do you ever use Nexus mods?
Yeah, I use that for Skyrim all the time.
Okay, this is my story. Did you see that Nexus mods is introducing collections?
No.
They're mod packs that are tested and curated. So you would have Skyrim say, and then go to Nexus mods and be like, okay, I want to get the curated texture pack mod pack. And you would go there, and they download in order. They install them automatically in the correct order to prevent crashing. And it's like a mod pack, and it's been curated.
Brandon.
Yeah.
I love you. Thank you for telling me this.
Yeah. The only issue that people are having with it is mod creators after 30 days can't remove their mods from the site. So if say you create your own mod, Bucky, introducing yourself into the game as a follower.
As I would.
Right. And you put it up, and then 35 days later somebody introduces another mod that makes you nude, and you're not interested in that, so you go to take your mod off the site so other people can't do horrible things to your nude body.
So people don't do things to my slang and dong.
Yeah. And sorry, dong got me. And but you can't anymore. You used to be able to, but now they're saying that, well, we've got the mods after 30 days on our site. We're backing them up. We're putting them in these collections. So once you pass that 30-day mark, you cannot remove your mods anymore.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting from a creator perspective to think you no longer have, I mean, you have control over your mod in the sense that you can update it and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you, for whatever reason, wanted to remove that mod after 30 days, you can't. It's just on the Nexus to download forever. So I saw some people are kind of, it's like a good news, bad news sandwich, because people are really enjoying the idea of collections, but they're not so much enjoying the idea that mod creators are losing some of their autonomy as far as that goes.
Yeah, because I know there's a few mods that I've followed in the past that at one point something went and then completely broke the mod. I can't remember what the mod in specific was, but like something happened that completely broke the mod, would break your Skyrim every single time. So what they did was they removed the mod off of Nexus until they got it working again.
Yeah, which you can no longer do.
Which, that's dumb. I feel like in scenarios like that, that should be allowed.
I think if anything, I mean, there should be something in the terms and conditions that says that if somebody modifies the already existing mod, which I don't know how all of it works, then you should be able to petition to have it removed at least. Or if not, then be able to update the mod again and just remove whatever the bullshit that somebody put in.
Well, like the example of somebody making it so where Bucky could be nude, that wouldn't be, somebody couldn't take Bucky's mod and then just make him nude and then re-upload it. That would get taken down because they're fucking with somebody else's mod. Yeah. So that wasn't the best example. I just wanted to talk about Bucky being nude.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but like most of the time, if it is a mod like that, it's like a body mod that fucks with the character model, and that's just put into the game. That has nothing to do with an individual mod. It can affect other mods, but that is not the reason it's there.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, if they petition to get their mod taken off within that 30 days, they have to take off every mod they've uploaded ever.
Okay, that seems kind of bullshit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's total bullshit.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I feel like that isn't going to last very long.
I don't know. I mean, Nexus said that it has something to do with their servers and the way they store the mods themselves.
Does it, though?
Yeah, but what would they have to gain from making it where people can't take their mods off?
Nothing, really.
So what purpose would they be doing it for then?
I have no idea.
If they're doing it for some like sort of secret, nefarious reason.
Well, I know with Nexus that you can pay. You can like pay like $5 a month or something like that to or how much is it? 1 second, I'm getting on Nexus. Yeah, you can have a plan to you get better download speeds, no ads, more results, instant downloads basically, because they throttle the downloads.
Yeah.
So like if you're not playing, it takes longer to download than others. But so maybe let's say you have them membership. Maybe they get a kickback for because that wouldn't make sense because all that money would be going directly to Nexus.
I know that mod creators get paid on how many downloads their mods get.
Yeah.
So maybe that is where they wanted to do it. Maybe that's why they were like, okay, people can't take their mods down because these mods are going to bring in money for us.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the angle. I don't know. Nexus Mods has 27.5 million concurrent users.
Yeah.
So a pretty decent amount of people are using Nexus Mods. I think I read that it's the most popular modding site.
Yeah. Because I mean, I know the Creation Club on Steam is still there.
Yeah.
I've never used that in all of my time modding Skyrim.
I used the Creation Club for a couple of things, but it's been so long I can't remember. So like I can't acknowledge or call out which mods I used from where.
Oh, wait, no. The Creation Club is the Bethesda thing, isn't it? The Steam Workshop or something. That's what it's called.
Oh, Creation Club I've never used now. Steam Workshop I have used, though.
I have used Creation Club a couple of times on my Xbox.
On Skyrim?
Yeah.
What, for like extra quests and
Yeah,
armor
I
and
think
stuff
it
like
like
that?
armors and like I think I got a house mod or something.
Oh, okay. So what do you got, Bucky? Hit us with another story.
Okay. I have another gaming related. Speaking of Steam,
Perfect.
they are releasing a new handheld system called the Steam Deck. And think of it as a Nintendo Switch game. It's going to be releasing in December for $400.
Releasing in December?
Yeah.
Wow.
In Ogre
Yeah,
Den.
that's really soon.
In Ogre Den, I posted a picture of it.
Oh, that's really cool looking.
Yeah. The basic $400 Steam Deck supports 64 gigabytes of internal storage and comes with a carrying case. For $530, you can upgrade to 256 gigabyte with faster storage on an SSD. That's similar to the ones used in the PS5 and Series X. And then another like $100, you can get 512 gig.
If you're gonna go for it and money's not an issue for you, definitely go for the second one at least, because 64 gigs internal memory is not that much space.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one, maybe two big games or a bunch of indies.
Does it have the option to insert some external memory?
All models come with a speed micro SD card slot.
Okay, so you can upgrade it yourself if you wanted to.
Yeah, but yeah. And then I'm trying to see other, and then it has an 8-hour battery life depending on the intensity of what you're playing.
8 hours is pretty good. My Switch lasts like 2 hours when I'm playing it.
It charges with USB-C. I'm trying to find how much RAM it has. 16 gigs of RAM.
Nice.
1.6 gigahertz GPU.
Mm-hmm.
Quad cores, Zen 2 CPU, 2.4 to 3.5 gigahertz. Is that good? I don't know if it's good.
That's pretty reasonable, yeah. Yeah, I mean for a handheld option, yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
So, if money were no object to you, would you buy this?
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
If money was no object to me and I wasn't working and I needed something to, take up some extra time while I'm sitting around
buying
on
stocks.
A beach having fun, buying stocks, then yeah, I probably would.
The picture itself that you sent, the Steam box it's called the Steam box.
Steam Deck. Yes.
The Steam Deck looks pretty chunky. I guess to put all that stuff inside of it, it would need to be a little thicker, but
it says it only weighs 1.4 pounds.
Oh, wow.
She's a thick boy with 2 C's.
Thank you, Remington.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this, but at the same time, like, could they just expend some of this energy to redo the Steam app?
No. Absolutely not.
It is still one of the most cumbersome
and it never works
that I have on my system.
And it hardly ever works.
And it's constantly getting updates. Almost every time I turn it on, it's like, oh, you have an update.
Yeah.
For me, it won't hardly ever let me put in my card information to buy anything.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it something's just broken. There were a couple of times where I handed my roommate my card and had him buy it for me from his and send it to me as a gift. Just because he could put card information in his, but I couldn't in mine for some reason.
Now, that being said, when you do open up the Steam app, it has a nice new sleek ad with the Steam Deck on it, showing it rotating in space on a white background. And you've got a lot of buttons on it. You've got an R1 through R4 buttons on it on the backside. So your trigger buttons. So you've got your left and right, 1 and 2 on the top side where you would usually put triggers, and then on the back side, as your ring finger and pinky finger curl around, there is L and R 3 and 4 on the back side, which is really interesting.
I've seen like Xbox controllers that have that, but I've never used them for anything. I think
Yeah.
one my roommate has for his has that.
See, Valve has this history of releasing things and then just abandoning them if they don't immediately get hyper popular. Like I have the Steam Link, the box that you can hook your computer up to your TV and play your computer games on your TV.
Yeah.
I have that. They don't sell that anymore, I don't think. I have a Steam controller, which they put out like, oh, what am I thinking? They zeroed it out. They bargained it out where you could buy them for $5 as they just sold the rest of their stock. Like they liquidated their stock.
Oh.
They had the Steam PCs that you could buy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll have more success with this one.
Something like the controller, I can see why it wouldn't necessarily sell. Because it's just like, oh, I also have an Xbox, and all I have to do is just plug that controller into my PC.
Exactly. The Steam controller, one of the things that it was kind of heralded as was having all these reprogrammable buttons. Have you seen what the controller looks like?
No, I have not.
It's a sexy controller, I have to say. And I don't really describe technology as sexy very often, but the Steam controller is a sexy controller.
Oh, man. I'm looking at it right now. I want to fuck that controller.
You can borrow mine after I'm done fucking it.
Oh, I get your sloppy seconds when it comes to controllers. Probably won't even clean it for me.
I always thought it was a little weird looking, to be honest.
I like it.
Does it
like
feel comfortable in your hand?
No, not really.
I was going to say, because it's sloping upward instead of downward. That doesn't make any sense.
Pretty to look at. That's about it.
Well, it has 2 touchscreens on it instead of control buttons. It has like
touchpads. Yeah,
touchpads. So you can do scrolling on them and stuff. I've actually never even tried to use it. I just have it more as like a piece of collector paraphernalia at this point.
Right, yeah. You do kind of have a love affair with Valve.
Shh, don't talk about it.
I'm sorry, it's a secret love affair.
It's a secret love affair. It's a torrid love affair with Valve. I do. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any more to say. I thought I did. I was going to try to say something funny, but nope. I do have a love affair with Valve.
Yeah. It's just a sad truth.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd get it even if money was like no object. I don't think I would.
Oh, yeah?
Because for me, it's like, if I want to play one of my PC games, I'll just get on my PC. Because, like, I don't go anywhere enough to have something handheld and travelable worth it anymore.
I think where it really shines is those people who really enjoy playing, like, the indie stuff. Because the specs on that will almost 100% cover any indie game that you play. And if you're like us, who have... Just on the Dueling Ogres account alone, we have 188 Steam games just on that alone.
Yeah, I mean, I could see having this Steam Deck and downloading different indie games and just laying in bed playing them. That's where I use my Switch predominantly, was just laying in bed. And being able to play a vast majority of the Steam library on a handheld is pretty cool. There's a lot of games on Steam.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot.
That's the thing. I don't even have my Switch anymore.
Oh, yeah. You gave it to a family member, didn't you?
Yeah, I gave it to my sister for Christmas. Just because I bought it right before I went to have my heart surgery. And, to like have something to play in the hospital and, just after. And I think I maybe used it about 5 times total.
What did you buy for it? Which game?
I had I think it came with Mario Kart, and then I had Skyrim.
So you played Skyrim.
How did Skyrim run on there? I've always been curious.
It was fine. I did try it with like motion controls, because you could do that. The Joy-Cons worked like Wiimotes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it didn't work whatsoever. It worked okay, but it was clunky.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it.
Since we're on the topic of gaming gear and paraphernalia like that, Elgato has been really pumping out the gear for streamers. Elgato, of course, first started off as capture cards, basically, and they have since gotten into lighting as well as microphones. and the Stream Deck itself, which is different from the Steam Deck. So you have the Steam Deck and the Stream Deck.
Yeah.
Double decks.
Double decks.
All the way
Of course, the
across
Stream
the
Deck-
desk. What does it mean?
Of course, the Stream Deck, for those of you who don't know, is basically just a little fancy keyboard where you can macro out different things and make it do fun things with your stream or control your lights in your house. I mean, there's a lot of functionality to it. They have just released their first webcam. So it is a 1080p 60 webcam. It does not have a microphone built in. Of course, that's not only to save on cost, I'm sure, but also to push the fact that they have their own microphones. And they're relatively decent microphones. As far as my personal opinion on all of the Elgato stuff that has been coming out, I think it's a little overpriced because of the brand name. You can absolutely get stuff that works almost as good, and in some cases better, by not paying for the name Elgato. But I digress. This is a review from Engadget, where the writer says that the Elgato's first webcam gets a lot of things right. Steamers will love being able to easily adjust the exposure and white balance. On its surface, the 200 camera is not that unique. It's a chunky rectangular box that can be easily clipped onto the top of a monitor or connected to Elgato's multi-mount system. It shoots 1080p at 60 FPS with a Sony-made Starvis CMOS sensor. It may not be 4K, but most streamers don't need that kind of resolution right now, which is 100% correct. If you are just doing a face cam, for all of you streamers who might be listening, if you're a gearhead and you want to drop the money, I'm not going to stop you. But I have worked all of my life doing content on the cheapest shoestring budget imaginable. And I have spent years building my kit.
And you're saying that you don't need a 4K video camera?
And you don't, especially if all you are doing is full screen gameplay with your little camera in one side or the other, and that's it. You don't need 4K because
But Rem,
yes.
what if you're a hot tub streamer?
If you're a hot tub streamer, it's still only outputting at 1080 max, unless you. In fact, I don't even think pro streamers get 4K anyway yet. So it still literally does you no good as far as output. Now, that being said, 4K, having a 4K camera does improve the actual quality of the camera, even though it's still only being shot down the pipe at 1080p. But that's just because the lenses for stuff like that tends to be better. If you're doing a hot tub stream or a live stream or like a proper live stream where you're out and about or doing something like that, and you want a high quality picture because of whatever you may be doing in real life, then it's kind of worth getting that. But if you're gaming, you don't need it. Don't spend the money on it. That's just my personal opinion. That's my soapbox moment for the day. The face cam makes up for it with a robust suite of settings in its dedicated camera hub program. Yes, you will have to download another piece of software for this camera to run alongside Game Capture, Stream Deck, Wavelength for the mics, and Control Center for the lighting, which is a little annoying. Other companies bundle all their drivers and settings into one tool, but I suppose keeping them separate probably makes sending updates out easier. In the camera hub, you'll have easy access to things like contrast, exposure, and white balance. The latter two can be set to automatic, so you have one less thing to fuss over. The automatic white balance was a little warm for my taste, but it was easy enough to turn it off and knock the number down to a cooler 4000K. The software also comes with zoom options, but it's nothing to write home about as the camera is a fixed focus. You'll always be sharp as long as you always remain between 12 and 47 inches from the camera. This should take care of anyone working at a desk. Anyone who moves further back would be better served with something a little more portable with advanced settings. The biggest draw of the camera hub is the real-time ISO reading, which makes it a lot easier to detect and react to changes in your lighting. Now, this one is the big shining moment here as far as it goes. Most webcams do not handle changes in lighting very well, and it takes them a few seconds sometimes to really adjust the auto lighting for it, and that can be distracting, especially if you are doing one of those full screen live things.
Yeah, I've noticed that with my webcam that it'll take not very long because it's a pretty nice webcam that you gave me actually, Rim, to use. But yeah, there's that moment where the light will just change color for a second, like flash, before it figures out what it's trying to do.
Yeah, uh-huh. And that's, I think that's the Razer Kaio, which they have a pro version, I believe, of that now.
Okay.
I don't know much about it, though. Maybe your lights are too bright, or maybe the natural light from outside vanished with an oncoming thunderstorm, which is exactly what's happening as I type this. The exposure and white balance can adjust automatically, or you can tweak the settings yourself on the fly. There is a Stream Deck plugin available, which should make it possible to adjust the settings with the touch of a button. Of course, that's dependent on you having smart lighting in the first place, like Elgato's key light or ring light. There's a definite sense that you're meant to go all in on Elgato's streaming lineup, probably best evidenced by the lack of microphone on the face cam. The company says it didn't bother since most gamers tend to use headsets anyway, but let's face it, Elgato would rather you pick up one of its Wave 1 or Wave 3 mics. They do indeed sound great, but they're not my preferred microphone thanks to some issues I had with getting the Wave 3 to work while I was wearing a headset. Yes, even one made by Elgato's parent company, Corsair.
So is this something you think you would invest in or no?
Me personally, no. A lot of the things that we do, of course, I haven't streamed in like over a year myself.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things that we do, as far as recording the D&D sessions, for instance, the cams are always rather small on the screen. And then I'm pulling you guys in through Discord, your guys' cameras, so it's not like the quality is super great on that either. I think there's 720p. But the smaller you make it, the less resolution you actually have to have in order to make it look decent. That's one of the tricks that you can do if you are solely streaming. If you are solely streaming gameplay and you just have a talking head down in the bottom or whatever you want to call it, reducing and you're having problems like maybe your machine isn't quite as powerful as it needs to be to run a full 1080p for your webcam, you can just decrease the resolution of your webcam because it's not going to matter. And that'll save system resources.
So you think this is just for like the richer kids who want to try to get into streaming and they want to go on name recognition or brand recognition?
Yeah, primarily, or people who really love Elgato stuff. Like I said, they make good stuff. I think they're just overpriced because you're paying for the name, which is, the same for a lot of things out there.
Yeah.
Which is funny though, because by and large, I don't think Corsair stuff is overpriced for what you get. Because I've got, I actually have a fair amount of Corsair stuff. I've got a Corsair keyboard, and I also have my PC case as a Corsair, basically open air case. It's like max airflow or something like that. It's really simple. I like a nice simple case, but that has a lot of airflow. Yeah. I don't have any flashy bullshit like LEDs inside of my case. I don't look at it, and nobody else sees it. So why in the fuck would I invest my money in that?
What about you, Bucky? Do you have LEDs in your case?
Speaking of Corsair, my Corsair water cooler does have an LED thing on it, but that was not the reason I bought it.
Right. I have a Corsair CPU cooler as well, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think I have Corsair RAM. I don't know off the top of my head. Right.
But do you have any other LEDs running through your case or anything?
No, just that built-in one to the cooler.
Right. Brandon, do you? I don't remember. Do you have any?
The only LEDs I have in my computer case are my fans. My fans are LED fans.
Are they?
Yeah, so I have a clear side on my case on the left side, and there's a green LED and a blue LED.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I haven't run like LED strips through it or anything because I just don't care. I mean, it looks neat, and if I bought a computer that had that, I'd be pretty stoked. But I don't care enough to actually wire in the LED lights and run them around the edges and stuff.
Yeah.
That's about like me.
I guess we're just purists. Or lazy.
I still wanted to take my
of
lazy poor. I think I'm both. but I
Yeah.
wanted to take my gaming computer and put it into my old Windows XP case.
Yeah.
I remember you've talked about that before.
Yeah, I still want to do that at some point. I don't know if I actually will because it would be a lot of work and a lot of like drilling and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's something I can bring over to your house sometime, Ram, and we can work on it together.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I'm totally down for that.
That
Yeah.
sounds fun.
You can come over too, Bucky. You can sit in the
Yeah.
yard.
Yeah. I can mow Rem's yard while you do it.
Yeah, you
I
can mow Rem's yard. So the Ukrainian Security Service guys, the SBU, says it discovered more than 5,000 devices in a warehouse mining crypto, including 3,800 game consoles like PS4 Pros. The agency has accused the operation of leaching as much as $256,648 worth of energy from the surrounding grid using special electrical meters to hide the theft.
Oh.
I can't pronounce the city that it's in because it's a Ukrainian name. The city of Venezia.
Venice?
No, it's Vinnytsia.
Yeah, I would have no idea.
Venezia. And it's next door to the Venezia Bolo Energy Distribution Company. And the energy company says, we will not make excuses. Let the SBU figure out what has happened. So the SBU is saying that the energy company knew because the warehouse was directly next door to this energy plant. And the energy plant is all shitty about it. And they're like, well, let them figure it out because we have nothing to do with it. So 5,000 gaming consoles using to mine crypto. That's crazy.
Illegally.
And there was a picture of the warehouse. It's like a big ass warehouse with just racks and racks of computers and PlayStations.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if that's where, like how the Xbox Series X and the PS5 are so hard to come by right now. Whether that's partially why, because people are buying them to crypto and like large manufacturing chains.
Very well could be. I know that speaking of crypto, there has been a lot of the crypto farms shut down in China. So it's kind of a pro and a con for people who are who are still on waiting lists for getting new graphics cards, or potentially even driving the price back down a bit, because there's theoretically going to be more back on the market, although a lot of them are just trying to recoup their costs by selling them in bulk. So they get shut down. So instead of selling them individually, which honestly, if you're a gamer, you wouldn't really want to buy one because they're already going to be stressed.
Yeah, they've already been pushed to the limit.
So you wouldn't necessarily want to buy one individually anyway, unless you're really hard up, I guess. Which, to be perfectly honest, if I could get one for a good price, I might.
Yeah, I would love to have a 3060.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't do enough that I'd have to worry about the loss of life on that card, theoretically.
Yeah.
But instead of selling them off individually, they're selling them in bulk, assumedly, so you could continue using them in new farms that crop up in other places.
Yeah, that's really suspicious that they're selling them in bulk like that. I mean, I guess it makes sense to just sell to other crypto miners. But man, it feels like crypto is really fucked with a lot of stuff as far as technology goes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has. And I honestly don't know that it's worth all the trouble that it's caused. Not just from an environmental perspective, but from an economic perspective as well.
Are people getting rich from mining crypto? I mean, they have to be, right? Or
I mean,
is this the new Wild West?
The companies manufacturing the graphics cards and everything are.
Oh, that's true.
Because how much have graphics cards jacked up in price just because of it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I still can't even get I wanted to upgrade to a 1070. I still couldn't find one that was less than like $400.
A buddy of mine said he checks like Newegg 2 or 3 times a day just to see if the one he's looking for is available, and it never is.
Yeah.
I want you to upgrade your graphics card, Rim, so I can take your old graphics card.
Yeah, exactly. You could have my old 1050.
Better than my 950.
That's better
right.
than my 780.
So we'll just pass him down the line. Rim gets
Yeah.
his new card. I take his old one. Bucky, you can take my old one.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah.
And I'll take mine and throw it in the trash.
So what do you got, Bucky, stories wise? I know you got some Lord of the Rings talk you wanted to bring because we've been going for about an hour now.
Okay. One's just kind of a fun one, and then after that I can do the Lord of the Rings one.
Okay.
Did you see that Deadpool has unofficially joined the MCU?
Yeah, I saw this.
And a reaction video with Korg from Thor Ragnarok. They reacted to Ryan Reynolds' new movie Free Guy, a trailer for that,
Oh, yeah?
which is about like an NPC in a video game becoming aware that he's in a video game.
Right, yeah.
It actually looks kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, I definitely want to see it, and it's probably just because I have a huge man crush on Ryan Reynolds, as you should.
Yeah, obviously. It's like girls be like, he's probably thinking about other girls, and then it's just like, what'd I do to be with Ryan Reynolds? But it's funny because Taika Waititi, who voices Korg, is also in Free Guy.
Oh,
as
yeah?
like the creator of the video game.
That's funny. Hold on, I'm gonna watch the reaction to that. That was cute. It's not the best Deadpool thing that I've ever seen, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. I obviously got some laughs out of it.
You got some giggles.
Yeah,
I did. I got a little bit of giggles. So I'm going to pop over to the DC universe real quick because I didn't fucking know about this.
okay.
Oh, shit.
Apparently, Colin Farrell is going to be playing the Penguin.
Yeah,
And I didn't know that.
and the new Batman movie starring Robert.
Pattinson.
Yes, Rob
Yes.
Bat.
Rob. Yeah. Rob Bat. I just wanted to say it because it sounded fun.
Yeah, it is fun. My roommate sitting behind me is about to get pissed off at me, but we're gonna have a sparkly vampire Batman.
I think Robert Pattinson looks pretty good as Batman as far as it goes.
Yeah, I think he'll do a good job.
Yeah, honestly, the trailer looked amazing for it. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. The Batman's Colin Farrell on how much Penguin fans can expect. Colin Farrell reveals how many scenes he has as Penguin and discusses the process of shooting the movie amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The Batman star Colin Farrell doesn't have too many scenes as the villainous Penguin, which is more than fine by him. While discussing his screen time in the film, Farrell talked to MTV's Josh Horowitz about the challenges of making the DC comic movie amidst the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Obviously, COVID began to grip the world while we were shooting, and I left London in March 2020, and we were still down for 4 or 5 months, said Farrell. And then we went back, and then obviously Robert got sick, and that was like, fucking Batman has COVID? Overall, Farrell said it took 12 to 14 months to finish production on the Batman. I'm only in it for 5 or 6 scenes as Penguin, so I can't wait to see the film because it won't be ruined by my presence, he added. It's a freebie for me. I get a little uncomfortable for the fucking 9 minutes I have, and then the rest I cannot wait to see how Matt Reeves brought this world to life. Because if I'm not mistaken, Farrell's on record saying that he doesn't really like to watch his own performances and stuff. Farrell is the latest actor to portray the umbrella-twirling mobster Oswald Cobblepot / Penguin in live action. Burgess Meredith was the first to play the DC Comics supervillain in the 1960s Batman TV show, along with the 66 Batman the movie. Decades later, filmmaker Tim Burton and actor Danny DeVito teamed up to put a far darker and more horrifying spin on the character in 92's Batman Returns. More recently, the TV series Gotham cast Robin Lord Taylor to portray a young Penguin as a small-time crook who gradually climbs his way up the food chain of Gotham City's criminal underbelly. So, which one was your favorite Penguin?
Burgess Meredith.
Yeah?
Yeah. Although I
think
did kind of
mine
like
too.
the animated series Penguin too. He was pretty good.
Yeah, he really seemed to borrow a lot from Burgess Meredith, though.
Because Burgess Meredith was the originator of like the wah, 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 wah Penguin, right?
Yeah, and the voice, speaking through his stemmed cigarette
Yeah.
constantly hanging out of his mouth. There was a certain amount of class to all the villains in the 66 Batman, or in the 60s Batman stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Bucky? Do you have a favorite penguin?
I remember more of Danny DeVito than anything. I haven't seen the 66 Batman as much as I probably should, but
Right.
Oh, I totally forgot about Danny DeVito penguin. He was pretty good too.
I literally just mentioned it.
yeah.
No, I know. I mean, just in my list of favorites, Danny DeVito penguin, I wasn't even thinking of him because Burgess Meredith was my number one. But Danny
Yeah.
DeVito was pretty good. Plus, I wasn't listening to anything you were saying.
Burgess
That's
Meredith,
fair.
you mean Rocky's trainer from Rocky?
Yes, actually. I'm right there along with you. Although Danny had a phenomenal performance in that. I mean, it was just right up his weird little alley.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Danny DeVito.
No, not usually. Danny is one of those guys who just does not get enough roles.
Yep.
But not everybody can sail along the twins fame for so long.
All right, so do you want to get to Bucky's Lord of the Rings talk?
I was hoping that'd get more of a laugh, but I don't know how much I actually got.
I laughed.
Cut that joke out, Brandon.
Okay. Or I'll leave it in the outtakes.
Yeah, because on my end, I didn't hear you guys giggle at all. I was just oh. Yeah.
No, I laughed. Bucky didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. I still feel lonely. The Batman. Okay, so let me finish this up real quick and then we'll get to that. The Batman teaser trailer offers a sneak peek at Farrell's Penguin, revealing the prominent facial prosthetics he wore to transform into the supervillain. The creative choice is drawing criticism from fans who feel it reflects Hollywood's problematic trend of hiring conventionally attractive actors to play conventionally unattractive characters. Jesus Christ, words are hard. Now, to be perfectly honest, I went back when they were talking about this. I went back before you came in, Brandon, and watched the trailer again because I was like, wait, he's in there? I didn't even fucking see him because I knew that I had watched the trailer. And I watched it again, and then Bucky's like, yeah, he's in there. He just doesn't look anything like Colin Farrell. Yeah. And then he posted a picture there for me, and I was like, oh my God, that prosthetic work is fucking amazing.
Oh, is that who this is in Ogre Den?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Colin Farrell.
Wow.
Right?
But, you know...
He doesn't look very penguin-y, though.
No, he doesn't.
Maybe on a profile view, he has more of a, pronounced nose.
Yeah.
What I find... I don't necessarily agree with this quote-unquote drawing criticism from fans who feel it reflects Hollywood's problematic trend of hiring conventionally attractive actors to play conventionally unattractive characters. Colin has done some good stuff and done some bad stuff in his acting career. Bullseye. But...
You okay? You got a cough there, buddy?
Yeah, I just I'm still suffering from this whole sinus infection thing.
Yeah.
But by and large, he's a really, really good actor. And he's done a lot of other things. In fact, he has a series that has just recently come out where he plays kind of a serial killer, killing sailors, that is on AMC Plus, I think. And it looks phenomenal, and he's wonderful in it. I've watched a couple of scenes. I haven't watched it because I don't have AMC Plus, but I heard about it and I watched a couple of scenes, and I was like, oh yeah, man, he just in those scenes, he's really freaking good in it. So if they hire somebody who is a good actor and who's bringing the amount of energy that they want to the role, then it doesn't matter if they're a no name or if they're a big name to me. Like, as long as they're bringing the sauce that the film needs, then fuck it. Doesn't matter if they have to wear a bunch of prosthetics to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my take.
More have the right person for the job than have the right person who, looks the job.
Right, exactly. Directed by Matt Reeves, The Batman arrives in theaters on March 4th, 2022. Farrell and Pattinson are starring in the film opposite an ensemble that includes Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman and Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner James Gordon.
I know Andy Serkis is playing Alfred, too.
Yes, Andy Serkis is Alfred as well. I'm surprised
Really?
they actually didn't mention that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a weird casting choice.
He's gonna be a monkey.
It's just a mocap of Alfred. He's not actually there. He died
just
15 years ago.
They take the Caesar model from Planet of the Apes and just that's Alfred.
More bananas, Mr. Wayne.
That's speciesist, Brandon.
Well, monkeys like bananas. There's nothing wrong with that.
So Bucky,
Yes.
I heard that you took some umbrage with our Lord of the Rings talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
So what bullshit are you gonna correct us on, huh?
I had a better segue into this, but okay.
No, fuck your segue. I want to call you out directly, you piece of shit.
I mean, technically, you called
Damn.
me out. Brandon called me out for it before even hearing anything from me while you were recording.
You're like, actually, I thought everything you said was pretty on the nose.
Lord of the Rings is boring.
You know what, Brandon? One thing that this doesn't have anything to do with your guys being just wrong about Lord of the Rings. But
Okay.
did you hear they're coming out with a anime film in the Lord of the Rings cinematic universe?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's going to be The War of the Rohirrim. It's going to be anime, directed by Kenji Kamiyama. He was known for other anime projects like Blade Runner, Black Lotus, and Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
Yeah. Which I love standalone complex.
He's directing this. It's going to take place 250 years before the main events of the Lord of the Rings.
Huh.
So, and because it is being produced with New Line and Warner Brothers, it will take place in the same world as the Peter Jackson films.
That's pretty cool.
Because those aren't directly connected in the books.
Right.
But it's going to cover the story of, I can't remember because I literally knew nothing about this character until I heard about this movie. Character named Helm Hammerhand. He was one of the Rohirrim. He's the person who Helm's Deep is named after.
Okay, cool.
So I think that should be pretty fun. And I'm not one into anime, but I will probably watch this because Lord of the Rings.
Right.
But it was, I mean, I'm excited to see it. See what they do with it. But that is one thing
that's definitely cool.
It is one thing I'm worried about because then I can segue into talking about the Amazon series and other stuff. I'm worried about them doing a lot of the not mainstream, widely known stuff, like anything that's from the Silmarillion or Unfinished Tales or anything like that, because of how little there is. Like, yes, there are going to be changes and they're going to have to add stuff, but it's the issue of will it align with what Tolkien would have done if he was able to fully come out with everything they're doing, right?
Right.
If he was the one directly in charge of every decision made for these projects, would they be something he would have made, or at least close enough to do a decision that he would have made?
Right.
And
I think it's good.
And like with a lot of the stuff I've been seeing about the Amazon series, I'm going into it with absolutely no expectations. I'm expecting it to be bad. That is the only expectation I have of it.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to be Game of Thrones, but with a Lord of the Rings skin.
I think it is, especially in this world where there is a lot of information or a lack of information, moreover. I think that it is fair to allow people who hopefully at least care about the content enough to continue writing something for it, to flesh out and explore the story more for other people's enjoyment. I think that's a fair thing to do.
Yeah, and with the films, they did some stuff that changed. There are a couple of things in the films that I think are better than the book.
Yeah.
Like Boromir's death. They did that in the movie, I feel, a whole lot better than in the book.
Right. And that kind of, I'm going to bring this back to comics for a minute because, we've seen characters be reinvigorated and remade over the years of their existence within comics. And sometimes those stories have gotten infinitely better, and that becomes the new norm of how it happened. And I think by sticking to your guns, and I'm saying you're in a royal sense, not you specifically, Bucky.
Yeah.
Sticking to your guns about how something should be done or whether or not it is the way the original creator intended things to be done is really shoehorning the creative process and stifling the potential of having something else come out that could be really good.
Yeah.
You know,
And
things can fall on their face, and that's fine too, but sometimes you fucking polish up that turd and add some extra corn to it, and you've got a really nice looking turret.
I mean, I have no doubt that visually the Amazon series is going to be beautiful. You know, visually, I'm sure it'll be amazing, but it's a matter of story. And if
Because of all the nudity in it?
no, surprisingly, that's something I do not want to see. But
I know.
there were a couple of times within Tolkien's works that he did talk about nudity, but it was never anything to do with like the Game of Thrones level of crap they did.
Right,
Which-
where everybody was fucking everybody.
Yeah, literally. Like I
Primarily.
think in a story called The Children of Hurin, and in that eventually Morgoth, the predecessor to Sauron, basically, he caused this thing to happen with the children of Hurin, and roll credits. And he had a son and a daughter. The son and daughter kind of split ways somehow. Morgoth wiped the memories of the daughter until she was essentially just an animal. Like, basically took her down to nothing. And
Wow,
then
okay.
her brother found her, but didn't know it was his sister. So that they kind of did, what you think would happen in that scenario.
They did the nasty.
Yeah, well, they didn't do the nasty, but they eventually fell in love and got married. All of this while Hurin was being captured by Morgoth, and Morgoth was forcing him to watch all of this happen. Granted, I could have gotten a couple of things wrong there, but I'm pretty sure the gist of it was correct because I'm not as well versed in that stuff. And then I know in The Hobbit, or in Lord of the Rings, in the book, when the hobbits meet up with Tom Bombadil, there's a whole like naked bath scene. So Brandon would finally get his dream of seeing Hobbit dong if they did that.
Finally.
But I highly doubt they're going to actually retell the main books
Yeah.
because the movies are already pretty good. But I don't think they'd show that part in the show.
You don't think so?
Well, I don't think they're going to be showing like mainline Lord of the Rings stuff. Like, I don't think they're going to be showing Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King stuff.
Yeah. So did you get into the talk of what the One Ring actually does?
No, but I can.
Yeah, because that was something we have some comments, and you've already started into it, but we had some comments on our last couple episodes about me talking about Lord of the Rings, and some people were disappointed that I didn't really enjoy the Lord of the Rings and I came down on us so hard.
Yeah.
Now, I have to say, part of me was joking. I do like the movies. The books I thought were boring when I tried to read them, but I do like the movies and I like the stories that he has in the movies.
Yes.
So I did enjoy the series, I did enjoy the series to a certain degree. So I was joking a little more than I came off, but yeah, I'm still not a huge fan.
Okay. Now,
So
I
what
do
was up
remember
with the One Ring then?
the one thing you said that did bug me was that the only thing it does is make the person invisible.
Oh yeah.
Which you're not wrong. That is the most obvious power it has. But a lot of the, like, what you see with Gollum, what happened to him? He was stretched. His life was extended, but not in a way like an elf where they're immortal, basically. What would have happened to Gollum if he kept the One Ring? He would essentially turn into a very small ring wraith.
Okay.
Like the Nazgul or the ring wraiths. He would have eventually become one of them. It's like in Fellowship, Bilbo talks about how he feels old. He might not look it, but he's starting to feel stretched and thin, like butter scraped over too much bread, I think is the line. So that's
from the Ring?
Yes, that is what the ring does, because the ring is semi-sentient on its own. It wants to get back to Sauron in any way possible. And the way it does that is by, if you were to find the ring, it would take whatever you want to do. You know, like whatever your nature is, what is in your nature to do. And it would show you what you could be with the power of the ring. So like in Return of the King and the Pass of Cirith Ungol, where Sam has to take the ring from Frodo because he thinks Frodo's dead, the ring starts to work on him and tries to show him how great he could be if he uses the ring. Well, what is Sam at the end of the day? He's a gardener, right? So the ring was essentially like, you could be the best gardener in the world. And then he was like, wait, but hobbits have and for some people that would work. Some people didn't. For Sam, it didn't, because hobbits are pretty content with how they are. So.
And Sam already knew that he was the best gardener in Hobbiton.
Yes, of course he did. But like, that's a thing that was showing Boromir when he was trying to take the ring from Frodo. The ring was kind of working on him in a way to where it was like, you could be the captain of Gondor. You could be the highest person in Gondor, which he basically was, though. But it was still that allure of more power, you know?
And then, of course, you have Faramir who took it and actually kind of beat that mental block there.
Yeah. And like Galadriel in Lothlorien, where she was like, instead of the Dark Lord, you would have the Queen, beautiful and terrible as the Dawn.
Yeah.
It would take whatever she thinks is beautiful, but it would always turn whatever that beauty is to evil. It would always end up being evil in some way, because Sauron is that is his nature. His nature is evil, and he put his nature into the ring.
Right.
If you want a very blanket term about it, it's essentially a Horcrux from Harry Potter. That's one way you can look at it. Not exactly, but that's probably one thing that J.K. Rowling was thinking of when she was creating that idea. That's why the ring wants to get back to Sauron so he can have all of his power.
Right. Or almost a phylactery.
Whatever
to put
that
it
is.
to put it in D&D terms, a lich is an undead sentient being that has a penchant for magic, to the point where the only thing they want to do is continue to learn and grow in power, in magical power, and they will separate their soul into phylacteries, which is basically a Horcrux.
Yeah.
That way they can't be destroyed.
Mm-hmm. One thing I saw that was kind of funny, that was so remember in the movie when Sam is just like, I might not be able to carry the ring, but I can carry you, and then carries him partway up Mount Doom.
Yeah.
So if the ring doesn't understand the transitive property of stuff, why couldn't they have just taped the ring to a mouse and then carried the mouse to Mount Doom? I saw that the other day and was like, well, in reality, that's because the story wouldn't be as good. But
it's the same reason why they couldn't just have the eagles from The Hobbit just carry them to Mount Doom and drop a hobbit into it.
Yeah.
Because it would be a boring ass story if that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be over in 20 minutes.
Well, not necessarily, because how many archers did Sauron have in Mordor?
And they flew miles above Middle Earth, far above the reach of any archer.
And they yoked the ring into the bowels
and
of
then
Mount
they
Doom.
yoked the ring.
If Tolkien had ever used the word yote, I would die.
Me too, but for a different reason. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to wrap us up with a little bit of space news. And we're going to touch back on... What?
Dope.
We're going to touch back on a little bit of Jeff Bezos, and then we're going to talk about some stuff from Mars.
All right.
Fun.
So this is from USA Today. Jeff Bezos flying to space, 18-year-old passenger joins the crew after winning bidder for seat bows out. So on the 25th, Jeff is going to be taking an 18-year-old into space with him. Take that for what it is in his giant phallic-looking Blue Origin spacecraft.
Huh. That's an interesting choice.
I feel like of all the billionaires working on space stuff right now, Jeff Bezos is like the dumbest one of them.
Really? You think so?
I mean, he's
just dumb in the sense of weird.
Yeah, and I follow a lot of space stuff. Like I watch a weekly thing where this guy talks about like SpaceX and stuff like that. Yeah. And one of the things was like, in the beginnings of Blue Origin stuff, Jeff Bezos was like, yeah, we're going to land propulsively. It's something no one has ever done before. And it's just like, you do know SpaceX has literally been landing rockets like that for like 3 years and just stuff like that. And he's
just trying to impress.
He's lying, basically, which they do that.
So Jeff Bezos' first trip to space will now include both the youngest and oldest people ever to take flight. The Amazon founder's aerospace company Blue Origin announced Thursday that 18-year-old Oliver Damon will fly aboard the vessel New Shepard on its first human space flight scheduled for July 20th. Oh, I thought it was the 25th, the 20th. So 5 days from now. And probably when this podcast actually comes out. The winner of the auction for a seat aboard New Shepard has decided to postpone his trip to space next week because of scheduling conflicts, Blue Origin said. The bidder, who asked to remain anonymous, will fly on a future New Shepard mission, the company said. Last month, Blue Origin announced the bidder won a flight aboard New Shepard, which will also carry Bezos and his brother Mark for $28 million. The proceeds from the auction go toward the Foundation Club for the Future, which is aimed at inspiring future generations to pursue careers in STEM. Quote, we thank the auction winner for their generous support of the Club for the Future and are honored to welcome Oliver to fly with us on New Shepard, Bob Smith, CEO of Blue Origin, said in a statement on Thursday. Also joining the flight is 82-year-old Wally Funk, a female aviator who pushed for inclusion in NASA's astronaut training program. July 20th will be the 52nd anniversary of the 1969 Apollo moon landing by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Earlier this week, the Federal Aviation Administration granted approval for the flight. Of course, this taking place a few days after Richard Branson's travel to near space, which apparently there's a little bit of nitpicking going on. So Branson went up to 55 miles above, which is kind of almost considered space. It's like this in-between part. And then he stayed up there for about 5 minutes. Bezos is going past that, actually into space, past, I forget what the belt is called. Hold on.
That's the Kármán line.
Kármán line? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the Kármán line is like the recognized boundary of space.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, thank you, Bucky. I didn't have to look it up myself. So Bezos is going actually above the Kármán line where Branson did not. But he's not going to be up there as long as Branson was. So kind of the trade-off there. Regardless, I think that I read a lot of articles of people poo-pooing on these billionaires and their little space race or whatever. And I think I might have mentioned it a little bit on the last podcast, so I won't dwell on it too long. But I think it's neat. I think it's fine. And I think it's cool that they're using their money to further space exploration from a non-governmental agency.
Yeah.
And it's these billionaires who are investing this time and money into doing this who are going to get us into space to the point of having jobs out in space, doing mining on the moon or mining asteroids, or eventually getting us to be a spacefaring race. It's not going to be the government that gets us there.
Yeah. I could be space welder.
You could be space welding, yeah.
Yes.
Would welding work in space?
Yeah, they actually have special machines that can do it.
Yeah.
And also in space, you can do this thing called cold welding because there's no oxygen in space to oxidize anything. Essentially, if you have two pieces of metal that are clean enough and they touch each other, they will just instantly weld.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but there was one of the first manned space flights. The guy went out for a spacewalk, then tried to close the hatch, and he couldn't. And they think it's because one of the hinges like welded to itself. Eventually, they got the hatch closed, but
yeah. Otherwise, you would just have to introduce oxygen because that's welding uses oxygen in order to
not
seal the two metals together.
Not necessarily. It depends on what you're doing, because you want like an oxygenless environment when you weld, because oxygen causes rust and it high heat.
Well, that's true.
Steel rust.
What do they use? Nitrogen?
It's generally a argon CO2 mix. That's what you
That's
use.
right.
If you're MIG welding, it's like a either 90-10 or 75-25 argon CO2, and then if you're TIG welding, it's normally pure argon.
Okay. I knew that they used gas. I thought it was oxygen. I guess I was wrong.
You use an oxyacetylene torch to cut steel,
Yeah.
which is oxygen.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
can
that's
weld
true.
with it. I can't, but people can.
But some people
Some
have
people
the
can.
ability to.
That was the one like type of welding I never got down.
Well, not everybody can use an oxyacetylene torch, Bucky.
Yeah, I know. I can use it to cut shit perfectly well.
All right. And my next space news story, which I thought was just fantastic. This is coming from Live Science. Alien burp may have been detected by NASA's Curiosity rover.
Excuse me?
Alien burp. So basically what they found was some methane gas pockets. The Curiosity rover has discovered some methane gas in the atmosphere, which is primarily produced by microbes. So a group of scientists may have just pinpointed the location on Mars of a mysterious source of methane, a gas most often produced by microbes, and NASA's Curiosity rover could be right on top of it. Methane blips have pinged on Curiosity's detection system 6 times since the rover landed in Mars's Gale crater in 2012, but scientists weren't able to find a source for them. Now, with a new analysis, researchers may have traced the methane burps to their origin. To calculate the unknown methane source, researchers at California Institute of Technology modeled the methane particles by splitting them into discrete packets. Taking into account the wind speed and direction at the time of their detection, the team traced the methane parcels back through time to their possible points of emission. By doing this for all of the different detection spikes, they were able to triangulate regions where the methane source is most likely to be located, with one being just a few dozen miles away from the rover.
Cool.
Quote, the findings point to an active emission region to the west and southwest of the Curiosity rover on the northern crater floor, the researchers wrote in their paper. This may invoke a coincidence that we selected a landing site for Curiosity that is located next to an active methane emission site. End quote. This prospect is thrilling for scientists, as almost all of the methane in Earth's atmosphere has biological origins, according to the researchers, and a signature on Mars could be a key sign of life on the ostensibly desolate planet. Even if the methane is being produced by non-biological processes, it could point to geological activity closely tied to the presence of liquid water, a vital ingredient for past or present life to thrive. Curiosity detected the methane blips through an instrument called the Tunable Laser Spectrometer, which is capable of detecting trace quantities of the gas at less than 1/2 part per billion, ppb, or about the quantity of a pinch of salt dropped into an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
That's how much methane they've detected?
That is the equivalency of 1/2 part per billion. Would be the equivalency of detecting a pinch of salt in an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Oh, okay.
The methane spikes that led the team to the potential source were registered at roughly 10 parts per billion, which is considerably larger than 1/2 part per billion. Previous attempts to cross-check Curiosity's methane spikes with atmospheric methane levels detected by the European Space Agency's Trace Gas Orbiter have failed. This could either mean that there is methane in the Martian atmosphere and the TGO somehow isn't picking it up, or there isn't any atmospheric methane on Mars and Curiosity is parked right on top of a local source. Though we still do not know whether the methane comes from tiny life forms, the detectable lifespan of methane is only 330 years. After this, it's completely destroyed by exposure to sunlight. That means whatever produced the methane could still be producing it today. Scientists' next job will be to find out what that something is.
Mars worms.
Yep.
Oh my god, sandworms.
Giant sandworms. Wouldn't that be a fucking crazy story if suddenly a sandworm just ate Curiosity?
Yeah, and Beetlejuice was right this whole time.
And NASA had to come out and be like, okay, guys, look, I know this is going to catch you a little off guard, but you know the Curiosity rover?
But Tim Burton was fucking right.
He called it. They flip over the podium. There's a fucking Beetlejuice.
There's fucking sandworms on Mars. Remember when she fucking went through that door and Beetlejuice snapped his fingers and she was on fucking Mars and the goddamn sandworms ate her? That's where she was. She was on fucking Mars.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That is an interesting
Yeah.
story.
So
though.
thanks. That was a nice little one to finish up on, I
Nice
think.
little burp.
Yeah.
Nice little burp of a story. So that wraps us up for this week. If you all have any questions or comments, or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-DU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres, email us at duelingogres@gmail.com, or leave a comment on our Facebook page like these nice people, Brandon, maybe?
Maybe is no. I can't pull them up while I've got Discord up, or my Discord crashes apparently.
You son of a bitch.
Let me
then.
come in
Let me
clutch.
look.
You got it, Bucky?
213, right?
213 and 212. We had a comment from
Okay.
Terry on 212 also.
Okay. There was one comment on 212 or 213 from Chad. Said, well, I need to step up my comment game, I guess.
Yeah, you do. I like how that was the only comment, but he but he didn't leave any other comments. No, I'm going to continue berating.
It's very meta. No, you berated the listeners for not leaving comments fast enough last episode. You were pretty shitty about it, actually.
Everybody knows I was kidding, Brandon.
You were like, so they got to step their game up, I guess.
If they didn't know that I was kidding, well, then that's just on them.
But you're also kidding by saying that, right?
Yes, I'm 100% kidding. You guys can leave a comment if you want. It makes us happy, but you don't have to. There, now I didn't piss in anybody's Cheerios.
Good.
What did everybody think of? What did everybody think of the Mona Lisa inside of Jeff Bezos's face?
I thought that was just dumb.
Did you think it was? See,
Oh,
that
no.
was. I thought that was some of my.
Oh, that is amazing. I thought the story was dumb.
Okay, cool.
That is hilarious.
I thought I was just gonna. My heart dropped. I was like, that's some of my best work.
No, yeah, that's pretty dope. The story, though, on the other hand, was ridiculous.
I hope everybody else liked it then, because I was just like, as I was doing it, and I was messing around with it and basically a mask is what you call it in Photoshop, and I was softening the edges and I was drawing in a little bit of shadow, and I was like, man, this just looks so ridiculous and so freaking wonderful. I loved it. But to be fair, if anybody wants to shit all over it in the comments, you can do that, since I shit all over the non-commenters.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
Yep.
Just drive to your house and take a
Tell
shit
me how
in your
bad
yard.
it was, everybody. That you can do that too. It'll just join all the dog shit that's in there.
Cool. Then
Did
from
we have another comment?
from
Yeah, there you
episode
go.
212, first one is from Chad again, and it says Chad is also grumbling about the Tolkien talk. And then from Viscount Terry W. Irvin II, you gents need to come up with a better tune for your trailer news, sort of like you have for space news. What you discussed for Batwing sounds pretty cool. Brandon's hating of J.R.R. Tolkien's classic tales makes me sort of sad. And then Rem responded to, you commented just 14 hours too late to be read on this upcoming episode. You didn't like the trailer roundup? I thought if anyone would appreciate a nod to a silly Western, it'd be you. And then...
So here's the funny story behind that. Apparently, when I uploaded the episode, there was no fucking trailer for it. I remember specifically putting it into the episode, but apparently it didn't save, and when I rendered, it didn't come out. So it was just a bunch of blank space.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that that's what he was talking about, because it was just a bunch of dead air for a few seconds while it was supposed to go, yeehaw, it's a trailer roundup. Yeah, it didn't happen.
Well, nice
I fixed
work,
it
Ren.
since then.
You fucked it up.
Thank you. I fixed it, but I fucked it up, and that's what Ash was talking about when I posted something on Twitter saying that I fixed it.
So thank you for the
So, yeah,
comments, everyone.
That was that. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. We appreciate you. Also, let's give a shout out to our wonderful patrons, since I forgot to do it last time and maybe the time before. Because listen, we're still getting back into the swing of things, promise.
You can't keep saying that. We've been saying that for over a year.
Listen, it takes a long time to get in the swing of things, Brent.
It's a very fast-moving swing.
I'm heavy, and it's hard to swing me.
Accurate.
So thanks so much, Jenny James, Tatiana, Larry Hott, also known as Mumfrey, also known as Nega Larry, the Reverend Diamond Man, Stephen Hines, Real Fat Tony, Heavy No More, and Chad. Bucky, you're not in there anymore. You stopped giving us $1.
Yeah, my Patreon account decided to say, "Hey, screw you," because I got a new debit card and it won't allow me to change my debit card because all the numbers were the same except for like 2. Because it was so similar, it won't let me change it, and it won't let me add it as a new card either, which is dumb.
Do you want me to message the guys at Patreon?
I mean,
I'll do it.
I mean, if you want.
I swear to God, I will.
I mean, if you want.
I swear to God, I
literally
will.
I spent quite a while one weekend trying to figure it out, and I just couldn't. So yeah. I said, you know what? Screw it. I'll save my money.
That's
and
fair.
it's nothing against you. It was Patreon
just
pissing
everything
me off.
Against me.
It was just Patreon pissing me off.
I prefer for you to blame us.
Nah, I'll blame Patreon.
Tell us that the content went downhill. Tell us that you were really disappointed in the lack of...
I mean, if there was no content, could it have really gone downhill?
That's a fair cop. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres. Email us at Dueling Ogres. I already said that part. Make sure to subscribe on our website at duelingogres.com for news shows and articles pertaining to some of your favorite geek news. I didn't get anybody else saying that they'd be okay with me posting my stories, so I haven't yet, but I guess I still can.
What, your story about
Brandon says,
West Virginia and coal?
Yeah.
I'd read it.
That's one of them. Anyway, that's one of them.
That's one person besides Brandon who doesn't matter or count at all.
Well, that was one story that I was going to publish, not just one person.
Oh, okay.
Brandon, you count in my heart above anybody else except for maybe Ginger.
How many more do I count?
And the dog.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fucking fair.
Well, she gives me kisses on the face better than you do.
Yeah.
Brandon,
and
your
she
face
does
is
that
too
peanut
strong.
butter thing you love.
And finally, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or find us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Google things, SoundCloud, whenever I remember to post the episode there, because SoundCloud is like, oh, you gotta pay if you want to do more than one episode at a time, and nearly anywhere else you can find a podcast.
Are you gonna become a SoundCloud rapper?
No. So until next week, Ogres, keep your clubs blunt.
And your tusks sharp.
Good night. All right, for the edit on the count of 3, I want you both to say goodnight because you two will be the ones that are hard to line up.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3.
Good night.
Good night.
Perfect.
All right, that'll be close enough.
Just cut it and stitch it in there where you need.
Yeah.
Well, Bucky and I are on the same channel, right?
Yeah. Brandon, you say goodnight.
Good night.
Bucky, you say goodnight.
Good night.
All right, now we'll be able to separate them and stack them on top of each other.
Okay.
Perfect. Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Fucking hate you. All right, stopping the recording.
Everybody get up. It's time to slam now.
I'm going to keep sitting down if that's okay.
And welcome to the jam now. Come on to the Space Jam. Perfect.
Yep. That conversation was almost as juicy as my ass.
Ew. You should probably like put a fan under there or something, Bucky. I've got Chrome and Discord up
As well as my dick.
Oh, shit.
and Bucky's penis.
Oh.
Incantable. Mostly Bucky's penis. That's what's throttling my CPU and GPU. It's Bucky's penis.
No.
Yo. We have some popcorn seasoning. It's like dried butter flavored popcorn seasoning that I've had up on my desk for an age because it doesn't really do much to the popcorn. But I'm pouring it into a little thing that I had sitting on my desk and I'm just licking it.
I don't know if that sounds like one of the fattest things I've ever heard. Hi, my name is Korg. I'm made of rocks, as you can see. No need to worry, unless you're made of scissors. Just a little rock, paper, scissors joke for you. I love Korg.
Yeah, Korg's pretty awesome.
Anyway.
Thanks for that. We're going to have to edit that one out.
Yeah, thank you, Bucky.
You can't say cunt, Bucky.
Oh, I was unaware. I'm sorry.
The FCC will have her ass.
You really think you're on the FCC's radar?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh, God. Brandon, did you walk away?
He didn't hear my Hobbit dong comment?
He didn't.
Brandon! I said that specifically for you. I was going to actually respond to a couple of your guys' comments and actually like prepare and have passages from the books and stuff. And then I got sick. So I was saying in Lord of the Rings, there's a section where when they meet Tom Bombadil, there's like they all take a bath in the lake and swim nude. So you would have gotten to see your Hobbit dong.
Finally.